Welcome to this travel guide on Japan's public transport etiquette, where we'll dive into the don'ts when riding local trains, metros, and buses. For first-time visitors, some of these rules might come as a surprise, but they are essential to experiencing Japan like a local. In this video, we'll explore the ins and outs of public transport etiquette, why these rules matter, and how they reflect Japan's deeply ingrained cultural values. Number 1. Luggage and personal items, etiquette. When riding Japan's trains and metros, you'll notice that the space can get quite cramped, especially during rush hours. One of the most important rules to follow is to remove your backpack when boarding and carry it in your hands or hold it in front of you. This helps avoid bumping into others and ensures that your belongings don't take up more space than necessary. Japanese culture places a significant emphasis on personal space, and this is a perfect example of that. When you board a crowded train, it's not just about fitting your body into the available space, but also about being mindful of how your belongings may intrude on others. For locals, it's second nature to navigate through tight spaces without causing inconvenience to others, a skill that tourists can pick up too with just a little practice. Another important note is that large luggage should not be taken on local trains or buses. The space is limited, and large suitcases can cause significant disruptions, especially when the train is crowded. Instead, consider using the airport express train or limousine buses when traveling to and from airports. These services are designed to handle luggage with ease, and they provide a comfortable alternative to squeezing your bags into a crowded train. If you're planning to take a taxi, remember that most taxis can only accommodate up to 4 passengers, but they may only have space for 2 large suitcases. For those traveling in groups or with multiple bags, looking for a wagon taxi is a smart move. And if you're traveling on the Shinkansen, make sure to book your luggage space in advance if your suitcase doesn't fit in the overhead compartment. Number 2. Noise and conversation etiquette. If you're riding the train in Japan, you might be surprised at just how quiet it is. The trains, even during rush hour, are almost eerily silent. But it's not because people are unfriendly, it's a reflection of the local culture of quiet respect. Talking loudly, especially on crowded trains, can be disruptive to others who might be trying to read, rest, or simply enjoy their peace. It's not that talking is forbidden, but there's a deep cultural expectation to be considerate of the people around you. Locals call it reading the room, a concept known as kuki o yomu, which literally means reading the air. The term is often used humorously to refer to someone who cannot read social cues, like when a person speaks loudly on a quiet train. So, when traveling through Japan, keep your voice low and be mindful of others' need for space and quiet. Speaking on the phone while on local trains, buses, or metros is seen as a major breach of etiquette. This is a very specific cultural norm that you should be aware of when traveling in Japan. To avoid disturbing fellow passengers, make sure your phone is set to silent or vibrate mode as soon as you board. There are even quiet carriages in certain trains where phone use is prohibited, making it easier for travelers to enjoy a peaceful ride. If you absolutely must take a call, try to find a designated area such as a phone booth or a quieter corner of the station. This not only keeps the peace, but ensures you don't inadvertently disturb others. Number 3. Seating etiquette and priority seats. While crossing your legs or sprawling out might feel comfortable to you, in Japan, it's considered bad manners, especially on public transport. People are encouraged to sit upright and keep their legs close to their body. Spreading your legs or crossing them can take up more space than necessary and may accidentally touch another passenger, which could make them uncomfortable. If you're unsure about how to sit in tight spaces, try to mirror what the locals do, sitting with your knees together and keeping your personal items on your lap. It's a small act that makes a big difference in terms of respect for others' space. Japan's trains have designated priority seats for seniors, people with disabilities, pregnant women, and parents with children. These seats should never be taken unless you absolutely need them. Even if they're empty, it's a sign of respect not to sit in them. It's important to understand that people who might need these seats don't always have visible signs, such as a badge or cane. so it's best to avoid sitting in them unless you're certain that you belong there. A polite and attentive traveler will read the room and, if necessary, offer their seat to someone in need. Number 4. Food, drink, and personal grooming etiquette. While eating and drinking on longer trains, like the Shinkansen, is generally accepted, it's a different story on local trains and buses. In Japan, eating and drinking on public transport is discouraged, especially because it can cause a mess or strong odors that disturb fellow passengers. Local commuters take pride in keeping the trains clean and free from distractions. While it's tempting to grab a snack on the go, it's best to do so at the station before or after your journey. If you're really in a pinch, make sure to be discreet and careful not to spill anything. Grooming on public transport, such as putting on makeup, brushing hair, or clipping nails, is also considered impolite. Public transportation in Japan is a place where people respect one another's privacy and comfort. Even Japanese locals avoid such activities during their commute. Commuters prefer to keep their personal grooming to private spaces, like at home or in public restrooms, rather than turning a train car into a personal grooming session. If you have a long commute and feel the need to freshen up, it's better to do so before or after boarding the train, where you can maintain both your privacy and consideration for others. Number 5. The escalator etiquette. In Japan, escalator etiquette is something that many people take seriously, but it has undergone a few changes recently, especially in major cities. In the past, it was expected that people would stand to the left side of the escalator to allow others to pass on the right. This was particularly the case in Tokyo. However, things have changed. Now, it is generally understood that you don't need to stand on one side to let others pass. The new rule is more about standing still on the escalator, which means no more rushing up or down while it's moving, as there were too many accidents in the past. That said, there are still exceptions depending on the region. For example, in Osaka, people continue to follow the tradition of standing on the right side of the escalator to leave the left side clear for those in a hurry. This can sometimes create a bit of confusion, especially for tourists who may not know the local custom. So, when in doubt, it's always best to watch what the locals do and follow suit. Number 6. General etiquette. Don'ts in Japan public transport. One of the simplest yet most important rules to remember when using Japan's public transport is to avoid blocking the doorway. It's easy to overlook, but blocking doorways during busy hours can cause major issues. Trains in Japan, especially during rush hour, are packed, and if you stand in the doorway, you're not only obstructing people who need to get on or off, but you also risk holding up the whole train's schedule. The best practice is to always stand to the side of the door. This allows everyone to enter and exit smoothly. If you're standing by the door, make sure you're not crowding the space. It's also a good idea to keep your belongings close to you, rather than letting them spill out into the doorway. Not only will this make everyone's commute smoother, but it will also make you look like a seasoned traveler who knows how to respect local norms. In Japan, when it rains, it's common for commuters to use umbrellas. But there's one very important rule to follow. Never bring a wet umbrella onto public transport. Wet umbrellas can leave puddles, making the trains and buses messy for everyone. You'll usually find designated umbrella stands or racks near the entrances of train stations. Take advantage of these stands before you board the train. Even if there are no umbrella racks, it's best to use the plastic bags provided at station entrances to cover your umbrella before entering the train. This shows respect for others and helps maintain the cleanliness that is so important in Japanese public spaces. In Japan, sitting on the floor of a train is considered disrespectful and unhygienic. While it might seem like a comfortable option during a long commute, locals tend to avoid sitting on the floor, as it's seen as a place for resting your feet, not for sitting during a ride. It also can block the aisles or disrupt the flow of passengers moving about. By simply being aware of these etiquettes, you'll blend in effortlessly with the locals and experience Japan in a way that's both enjoyable and respectful. It's not just about following rules. It's about showing respect for the people around you. And that's what makes Japan's public transport system so exceptional. If you've visited Japan before or have any questions about public transport etiquette, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts or any funny experiences you've had on the train. And don't forget to subscribe for more travel tips to help you explore Japan like a local. Safe travels, and I'll see you in the next video.